I think I've done enough Whitneys.
Sony's
I
behind the
would like a
scenes
girl
writing,
with them.
still waiting to exhale, and it's going to be you and us
Still waiting.
still waiting.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Naomi, so good to see you again. How are you?
Hi, I'm well, thank you.
Seriously, congratulations on this. I have 1,000 questions for you, so I'm going to jump into this. And I'm going to start out with a big one, but I was wondering if you could imagine sitting in a movie theater, sitting next to Whitney Houston, watching this film, and when it's over, lean over and go, what did you think about how I did this? What is the aspect of your performance you would love to get our thoughts on?
Um, oh gosh, all of it. I don't know, maybe none of it. I don't know. I'd be so nervous that she hated it.
Why? Oh my, she wouldn't hate it. Did you see it? You're fantastic.
I think I would ask her, did you like how I did your performances? I think I would ask that.
And you did well. Speaking of, I actually kind of want to go into that because I kind of want to talk about the art of nailing lip syncing when you have to be thinking about your mouth being in the right place and your throat
Yeah,
moving when it's supposed to move and your
yeah,
facial mannerisms matching what they're supposed to look like. How do you
yeah.
have, I guess, the mental space to be thinking about everything else that has to go into your performance? Like, how difficult is to spin that many plates at one time?
It gets easier over time. I think the task that we had was, if I'm doing the movement of the performance in one space and then I'm doing the singing in another, and then I'm studying her facial movements in another, like over time, you start to try and combine them together so that you can have a cohesive performance. And luckily, I'd immersed myself so much in those songs, and I knew them before. All of these songs I knew before, luckily. But when I was studying the live performances of them, I was able to, hear when she takes in a breath and when she takes in the audience and all of that kind of stuff. And I think that really helps is when you know where the breaths are taken and all of that, that actually is everything else starts to just lock into place.
Well, you mentioned knowing all the songs, as did I, and as did everyone who's going to see this. But what I think is interesting is that we're seeing these songs that we know within the context of her life and what's going on in that moment. So I'm sort of curious of all the songs that you've heard 1,000 times, that you've sung 1,000 times, which one is most changed for you now that you've sort of seen it within the context of what she was dealing with in that moment?
Oh yeah. I would say I will always love you because that was around the time of The Bodyguard,
Mm-hmm.
obviously. But there was a lot going on for Whitney at that time, with her first attempt at having a child, and then having Bobby Christina, being on a world tour. She was um, still married to Bobby, so that we actually kind of looked at that song and within the context of that being about her first child,
Mm-hmm.
and what does that mean when you attach that song to someone that she lost so early on, and that the whole context of the song then changed.
You mentioned Bodyguard, which is such a
Yeah,
great film because in addition to being an amazing singer, she was an amazing actress. Of all of
yeah.
her acting roles, which one would you most love to tackle and give, try your hand at?
I think I've done enough Whitney's.
Wait, you don't want to do the Preacher's Wife remake?
No,
I could see you in it.
no, I think she's done, like, I couldn't bear. I think, those films are like classics. Those films are so good.
Sony's
I
behind the
would like a
scenes
girl up
writing,
with them.
still waiting to exhale, and it's going to be you and us
Still waiting.
still waiting. Naomi, I
Yeah,
love you so much. You're absolutely
love you
phenomenal. And I
too.
know you had such an incredibly busy day. So the fact that you fit me in really means a lot to me. So seriously, thank you for
Thank
taking
you
the
so
time.
much.
It's really good to see
Thank
you
you,
again.
darling. Take care.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.